Hi, I'm Kevin Dundon and you're watching Hip World Gourmet.
So here you are, you found me in the heart of Dunbrody, in the main kitchen. I'm just preparing some filleted beef for one of the recipes we're going to cover today in our cookery school. In fact, we cook all our recipes that I show you through our cookery school. So why don't you go over there, and I'll be over there in a minute when I finish preparing this beef. So I'm really excited today because I'm going to show you how to cook one of my favourite fishes, and that is monkfish with a roasted mussel and garlic sauce. Then we're going to follow it with a fillet of Irish beef, and then we're going to drizzle it over top with some truffle oil, serve it on a caramelised onion mash, and then we're going to bring it down to my butcher, Leo. And I'm sure he's going to give you some great tips for when you're at home and you go down to your butcher or to your supermarket to buy your own beef. And then we're going to follow with an apple and hazelnut torte. And then that's a recipe that I actually learned how to do when I was working in Switzerland many years ago. So let's start with our starter now anyways. And I just want to go through the ingredients because to me, monkfish is a wonderful fish. And actually, you can see it here. It's probably the ugliest fish in the ocean, but the taste is only fantastic. And then we're going to have some mussels which are harvested down in Banno Bay, which is about 4 miles from our house here. We're going to roast some garlic, and basically I have some roast some garlic here at the moment, and basically all I did was I put them onto a pan with some olive oil, some salt and pepper, left them in the oven for about 10 minutes until they got kind of golden brown. What you're actually doing there when you roast garlic is that you actually take the bitterness out of the garlic, and you don't have that aftertaste that people always say. You smell your garlic breath and everything else. So then we're going to get some bread, and we're going to do some crudités just for the garnish on top. And so let's start anyways. We'll start with this is the loaf of bread that I had from yesterday. I'm just going to grab a knife. And basically you want to cut it extremely thin, like so, and then cut it on an angle, like so. I've got a couple done already, so just put them on a pan like this. So here's some olive oil that what I actually did to this olive oil was I actually infused it with garlic. So some of the roasted garlic that I made earlier, I just dropped a couple of cloves in there, left it in for about a half an hour, so you're kind of getting that garlic flavour through the olive oil. And I'm just going to drizzle it over the bread, and then pop that into the oven. Basically what you want that to do is you want it to get, it'll curl up and get crispy. So again, we're talking about textures in our food. A little bit of the garlic oil again in the pot. Throwing your mussels into there. I'm just going to chop a little bit of tarragon. Again, very casually chop it. You don't want it too fine. Throw this pan. The roast garlic, a couple of cloves of roasted garlic. Some white wine. You're going to let that reduce down by about half, and you'll start to see your mussels opening up, and we're going to finish with a little bit of cream. Just going to move that to the back burner now. We're going to take our pan to pan fry the monkfish. Again, using your garlic oil. When you're at your fishmonger and you're asking for monkfish, just ask them for some fillets of monkfish. And you can just cut them into sizes like so. Probably one is sufficient for a starter portion. Black pepper, some salt. So again, always put your fish away from you when you're cooking it. And just gonna add a little bit of cream. Just check for taste. See how they're beautiful and golden brown? And again, they're just going to look fantastic on top of the starter, just to give the appetizer a bit of lift, a bit of height to your appetizer. A little bit more black pepper on that. Black pepper into the mussels. Okay, so the monkfish is ready there now. How you can tell the monkfish is ready, it actually gets quite firm. So place that on the plate just there. Kind of open up your mussels, like so. Just makes it easier for people to eat. Grab a spoon. You can see that roasted garlic there. We're going to drizzle it with the sauce. Again, we're letting the ingredients speak for themselves because they are really the fruit of the sea. There you go, pan-fried monkfish with a roasted garlic and mussel sauce, finished off with some crudités of toasted garlic infused oil bread crispies. And then we're going to bring you now down to see Leo, and we're going to talk about the wonderful meat that we're able to get here in Ireland. So here I am in Leo's butcher. The hygiene in Ireland is very strict, so Leo's instructed me to put on my old hat, maybe. There we go. Let's go in and meet Leo. Hi Leo, how are you? Good to see you. You well? So the quality of meat here is excellent. You've been supplying Dunbrody for 7 years now, and I've never got a bad bit of beef or lamb. So thanks very much to start with that. But what's the secret? Is it traceability or?
Well, I suppose the secret is that in this part of the country, you know, there's very good grassland country and stuff, and we've great beef and great lamb down here as well, you know.
So is it really the grass that's making the difference?
Oh, well, it's general. The farmers are good as well, like, and you know, I mean, we're always not called the modern county, like, for nothing, you know.
Yeah. And I noticed like the traceability is very important. You've got the names of the local lads around here that the beef's coming from this week.
Well, I mean, you know them. I mean, if you're going further afield, you don't know. I mean, you know. Yeah. So you're sure of what you're doing all the time, then, you know.
That's great. So you take in the full carcass and then butcher it up here.
We take in mostly full carcasses, yeah.
And I know you because I only buy your prime cuts, and you're left with everything else.
Oh no. Yeah, well, sure. You know, that's all part of the business, like, you know. So. With regards to traceability, like, we have a book, you know, that every animal goes into it, and all the different cuts go into it, and you know, what you put out on the counter, then you know, this everyday stuff is brought down, and then you have your stuff there for the lot that came in, and obviously the date that you're selling it, and, you know. So, you know, you have a good handle on everything then, like that way, you know.
That's brilliant. Well, listen, thanks very much.
Okay,
it's a pleasure working with you all the time.
It's nice to see you. So looking so good of a Monday morning.
So there you have it, down in Leo's Butcher. It's stunning. Absolutely, this is one of the most important ingredients in Dunbrody. We're known for our fillet of beef and known for our rack of lamb. with that marmalade crust. So let's get back to the kitchen and see you again. All right, take care. So did you enjoy that? Wasn't it really interesting to find out the different qualities in meat and how meat has changed over the last 3 or 4 years with dietary needs and so on? But I've got a fantastic piece of meat that we picked up from Leo. Again, you can see the marbling effect on that meat, which is actually, remember, bringing in the flavour of the meat. That's a lovely piece of beef tenderloin, or we would say fillet of beef. Always remember that you're looking at the presentation of your final dish at this stage. So you want to make sure that it's a nice shape and stuff like that. So we're going to put it there. We're going to marinate it a little bit, just a little bit of olive oil. We're just going to put a little bit of truffle oil, which is really expensive, but the smell is wonderful. I bet you can really smell that there. A little bit of chives. Just chop it roughly again. Plenty of black pepper. On this stage, a little bit of salt. Don't want to put salt on too early, because what it actually does is it starts extracting the juices from the beef, from the meat, whether it's lamb, pork, chicken. Give it a good turn around like that. You can see it's starting to come alive already. You can hear that sizzle there, that's hot enough now. Again, with your black pepper, good twist of black pepper. To give you a tip on when you're cooking beef, if you seal it off in your pan and then you can finish it off in the oven, keeps the smoke out of the kitchen. Then you can get on with your accompaniments of what you're going to serve with your beef. You really want to get that crust on the far side, so you just make sure that just going to throw that into the oven. Let that cook. And then remember, I was telling you that we're going to serve it on a caramelized onion palm puree. So I have some mashed potato here. I'm just going to give it a heat up. How I do the caramelized onion, you can see it's really, really rich and red, and it's lovely glaze off it. How we actually do it is we saute red onions with some brown sugar, and then we saute them off until they start to caramelize. Then we add some red wine to that, let that reduce down by half, and then we finish it off with a little bit of grenadine. And you get this fantastic result of caramelized onions. It's also great on top of bread. If you're going to make some bread, just throw some on top just before it goes into the oven, and the onion kind of drizzles down the bread, and it's really, really good. Give that a good stir. We're going to just put in. Don't be shy, you put a good bit in. This is actually giving it a really kind of sweet flavour off. Just want to work that through. I'm just going to heat up a little bit of port wine jus, port wine sauce. Just grab 2 spoons. What we're actually going to do now is a technique called quenelling. So you get 2 spoons of the same shape. So you put a full spoonful on the plate. You put your spoon, the second spoon, to the back of the first spoon, and you sweep through like so. Just in the center of the plate. Like so. It's just a neater way of putting your potato on. You can also put it in a piping bag and pipe it on the plate. This also looks quite attractive. You can see that beef there now? It's exactly the way I like it. Basically, when you're looking at the temperature of meat, when you push into the meat and spring it bounces back, it's about medium rare. The firmer the meat is, the more cooked it is. So this is exactly how I like mine. I'm going to place that just on top like that. Put this out of the way. Okay, and we're going to drizzle a little bit more truffle oil over top. Just around the plate, always just put a little bit of sauce over your meat, and then just put a little bit more around the plate. We're going to finish off by putting some crispy potatoes. That's just potatoes that are thinly sliced with a potato peeler, and then you just deep fry them. So you're getting that, again, the textures, which is very important. Couple of pieces of chive. And some black pepper around the edge of your plate. There you have a superb fillet of beef infused with truffle oil, served on a caramelized onion and mashed potato with a little bit of port wine jus. And it looks absolutely scrumptious, and I really want to eat it now. So now I'm going to show you a recipe that I learned when I was in my apprenticeship in Switzerland. This is the first thing that I learned when I went over there, and it actually transpired to be a fantastic dessert, an apple and hazelnut torte. So basically what I have here is I have some amaretto, I have some chopped hazelnuts, some brown sugar, some mint for your garnish, some apples, the most important thing, some eggs and some cream. So we're going to start off by just making the mixture. We're going to throw in some hazelnuts into the bowl. Two eggs, 2 whole eggs. Let's give that a bit of a whip up. Some brown sugar. some cream. Garnish the top of the apple and hazelnut torte with a crispy apple slice. So you want to slice this extremely thin. And we're going to bake these in the oven. So we just, similar to how we did the garlic crostinis that we did for the starter today. It's the simmer principle. Cut it in half and quarter. You want to get the core of the apple then at that stage. Then slice them in 3 then at that point. So when we've got that done, I'm just going to roll out a little bit of pastry to line our pastry tin. You're going to get your tin. Let the pastry fall into the tin and press it in so it won't shrink on you. Roll your rolling pin over the rim of the tin, and what you get is a perfect tart with a pastry in it. You take this across then, here. So we get our mixture then. Get yourself a ladle or a spoon. Pour that over top. Okay, we're just going to sprinkle some brown sugar on top of that. Then we're going to place this into the oven. And what you're going to find is the brown sugar is going to start to melt. It's going to marry in on top of the apples and caramelize the apples. The hazelnut is going to infuse into the apples. You're going to get this superb dessert. We're going to top it with ice cream and finish it off with some mint and the crispy apples. So I'm just going to check those apple crispies and check that they're perfect. The hazelnut and apple torte looks absolutely fantastic, and we're going to. It's just another couple of minutes, but I'm going to make a little quick sauce to go with it. Okay, so we're just going to turn on the heat, and just on that extra piece of apple, I'm just going to dice it. Put it into the pan. A little bit of brown sugar. Just give that a shake. A little bit of amaretto. It's basically flambeing a few apple pieces, caramelizing with a bit of brown sugar, finishing off with a bit of amaretto and letting it reduce down to a syrupy texture. Look at that. That looks fantastic. I said we were going to top that with a little bit of vanilla ice cream. So I have some there. Just sit on top. That's going to start to melt down. And again, infuse some flavors into the tart. A little bit of fresh mint. And just those apples, we're just going to split them on top like so. Grab a spoon. And just drizzle the sauce around. There you have a dessert that I learned how to do when I was apprentice. I think it was about 16 when I learned how to do that, and it's still one of my favourite desserts to make today. To recap on what we covered today, we started off with a pan-fried monkfish with roasted garlic mussel sauce, finished with those garlic crispies. We followed on then with a fillet of beef drizzled with truffle oil and then served on a caramelized onion mashed potato. Then we finished off with apple and hazelnut torte, vanilla ice cream. I made that little bit of sauce with the leftover apples with the amaretto brown sugar. Join me next time when we're discovering new recipes here on Hip World Gourmet. And always remember, it's always for the love of food. Slánta.